I wasn't even looking for anything weird that night. I was just scrolling through Twitch, half asleep, trying to find some background noise while I worked. Most of the top categories were the usual: shooters, just chatting, speedruns. But way down the list, buried so far it shouldn't have even been visible, I found a stream with 0 viewers. No title. Just the word, live. Curiosity got me. I clicked. The screen showed a small, dimly lit room. Beige wallpaper, peeling near the corners. A single chair sat in the middle, facing the camera. That was it. No game, no streamer, no chat. Just an empty chair under a flickering light bulb that buzzed faintly through my speakers. I waited. Nothing happened. I was about to close the tab when the viewer count ticked up, 1-2. Someone else had joined. The chat window flickered to life. Who's here? Did you find it too? Before I could type anything, the stream glitched. For less than a second, the camera angle changed. Not the chair anymore, something else. A flash of a face. Pale skin. Dark eyes. And then I realized what I'd seen, it was my face. The camera had shown me, sitting at my desk. The other viewer typed. Yeah. It showed me too. My stomach dropped. I minimized the window, but the audio didn't stop. That low hum, the flickering light, it kept playing even when the tab was gone. And then came the whisper, buried in the static, so soft I thought I was imagining it. Don't leave. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I shut my laptop, I swore I could still hear that buzzing light, faint as a mosquito in the room. When I finally forced myself to restart my computer, the noise vanished. Relief washed over me until I checked my browser history. The link to the stream wasn't there. I knew I had clicked it, I knew I'd watched it. But it was gone, like it had erased itself. The next day at work, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Out of morbid curiosity, I opened Twitch again. I scrolled for nearly an hour through random streams, bottom feeding off categories nobody touched. And then, there it was. Same untitled thumbnail. Same live. This time, there were already 3 viewers. The chat was active. Short, desperate lines scrolled by. Don't look too long. It knows when you blink. I think it's in my house. I hovered my mouse over the video player, my heart pounding. The camera still showed the empty chair, lit by that sickly bulb. But something was different. The wallpaper behind the chair was peeling more than before. A long strip dangled like loose skin. The light above the chair swayed slightly, as if the air itself was breathing. I almost convinced myself it was just a creepy art project. A loop. Something staged. Until the chat froze, like someone had paused it. Then, new text appeared, not from a username, but from the system itself. Message from the broadcaster, you're late. Sit down. The camera jolted, a single frame glitching again. And for one horrible second, the chair was no longer empty. Someone was sitting there. Head down. Face hidden. The viewer count jumped, 3-4. And that's when I realized I hadn't typed anything yet. I hadn't joined the chat. But my name was already there. I slammed the tab shut, yanked the Ethernet cable from the wall, even powered off my router. But when I reopened my browser, the page was still there. The stream didn't buffer, didn't lag, it just was, like it didn't need the internet at all. The chat scrolled again, but now the usernames looked wrong. No profile pictures, no emotes, just gray, hollow names. User 1938. Guest 1957. Ghost _72. They weren't talking in real time either. The messages looked like fragments pulled from another era. We thought it was just television. 1938. The radio went dead, then this came on. 1957. We tried to record it on tape, but the faces bled through. 1972. My hands shook as I scrolled back. The farther I went, the older the usernames became: Telegraph 1899, Phone Line 1912. Each one left a single warning, a single moment of panic, as if they had stumbled into the same room I had. That's when it hit me: this wasn't a Twitch stream. Twitch was just the latest skin it wore. Whatever it was had been broadcasting for decades, maybe longer, always slipping into whatever medium people trusted most. I stared at the screen again. The chair was still occupied, the figure's head still bowed. The swaying bulb flickered harder, casting shadows that stretched unnaturally long across the walls. And then the figure moved. Slowly, its head tilted upward, like it had finally noticed me. The face came into view blank. No eyes, no mouth, no features. Just smooth, pale skin. But as I leaned closer to the monitor, details began to surface. Grooves. Shapes. It was carving my face onto itself. The chat pinged. One new message. Message from the broadcaster: every viewer takes a seat eventually. The viewer count ticked again, 4-5. I didn't check who the new one was. I already knew. I didn't touch Twitch again for weeks. I convinced myself it was a hallucination, some late-night mix of paranoia and fatigue. But the feeling never left. The buzzing of that light bulb still hummed faintly in my ears, even when everything was silent. One night, out of morbid compulsion, I searched online. Reddit, old forums, archived pastebins. Buried threads kept surfacing: posts from people describing the same room, the same chair. Some dated back years. Others were screenshots from platforms that no longer even exist. The details varied, but one thing stayed constant: everyone who found the stream claimed they'd eventually seen their own face on the broadcast. And sooner or later, they stopped posting. Then I found something that froze my blood. A Reddit thread from 7 years ago had a screenshot of the stream. Same wallpaper. Same flickering bulb. And in the middle, someone sitting in the chair. The image was low quality, grainy. But I knew that face. It was mine. 7 years before I'd ever clicked on the link. My chest went hollow. I scrolled further and found another archive, this one from 2009. The figure in the chair again. The face blurred, not yet clear, but the shape of the hair, the outline of the jaw, it was becoming me, slowly, frame by frame, across time. I slammed the laptop shut and shoved it away. That's when my phone lit up. A Twitch notification. The stream that never ends is live. You're on. I don't stream. I've never streamed. But the notification didn't come from a username I recognized. It came from my own account. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the phone. For a moment, I thought it was just a glitch, some kind of phishing attempt. But the notification didn't disappear. It just sat there, pulsing on the screen like a heartbeat. When I finally tapped it, Twitch opened directly to my profile. Except, it wasn't my profile anymore. The banner, the profile picture, even the About section, everything had been replaced by that same beige wallpaper and the empty chair. Under the About Me tab, there was a single line of text. You're already seated. And then the stream started. The feed showed my own room, my desk, my chair, my unmade bed. The camera angle was perfect, like someone had set up a hidden webcam directly across from where I sat. But I don't own a webcam. I never have. The viewer count began climbing, 03-11-27. The chat exploded. He's love. Don't move. Watch his eyes. I scrambled to cover my laptop's camera, but the stream didn't flicker. I turned off my phone, yanked the battery from my smoke alarm, even shut down the breaker to my apartment. Still, the screen glowed. The stream kept running. And then, for the first time, I saw the other side of the broadcast. The wallpaper. The flickering bulb. The chair. Only now, there was no faceless figure. It was me. I was sitting in both places at once, here at my desk, panicking, and also there in that cursed room, slumped in the chair. My movements didn't match. On the stream, my copy was perfectly still, head lowered, like it was waiting for something. The chat scrolled faster. It's almost aligned. Don't let him look up. Once he looks at the camera, it's over. And that's when I realized. The one in the chair was slowly raising its head. I couldn't look away. On my laptop screen, the version of me in the chair moved with agonizing slowness, vertebra by vertebra, as though someone were pulling invisible strings. The head tilted upward, and I felt an ache in my own neck, like some unseen force was coaxing me to mimic it. My hands flew to my face. I was terrified that if I didn't stop myself, I'd follow its motion without realizing it. The chat went wild. Cover the mirror. Don't let the frame sink. It's feeding. I didn't understand, but one comment froze me cold. This is how the others disappeared. The figure in the chair finally lifted its head high enough that I could almost see its face. My stomach dropped. It was becoming sharper, more defined than before. Not the blurry features I'd seen in old screenshots. It was matching me, in real time, like a photocopy perfecting itself. And then my stream lagged for the first time. Just one stutter, half a second. But in that half second, I saw something impossible. The camera wasn't showing my room anymore. It was showing the hallway outside my apartment. Dim, empty, silent. Then another stutter. For a fraction of a frame, I saw myself sitting at my desk. But the angle was wrong, higher, as if filmed from the ceiling corner. Another stutter. This time the feed showed my front door. Closed. And beneath it, in the tiny shadow where the light didn't reach, something pale pressed against the crack. Fingers. The chat went silent. No new messages, just one final line appearing at the top of the window. He's already inside. I spun around so fast I nearly toppled the chair. My front door was shut, deadbolt still in place. Nothing unusual. No fingers, no shadows. Just the cheap metal handle gleaming in the dim light of my apartment. But the stream didn't lie. On the screen, the camera angle hovered inches from the door. The pale fingers slid further into view, dragging across the floor like they belonged to someone lying flat on the other side. Scraping, twitching. And then I heard it for real. A faint tap 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 from the bottom of the door. So quiet I might have missed it if not for the speakers amplifying the same sound a fraction of a second later. Perfectly synced. The figure in the chair, the other me, lifted its head completely now. Its face was identical to mine, but wrong in small ways. The skin too smooth, the eyes too dark, the mouth curled in a smile I couldn't force if I tried. It leaned toward the camera, and my apartment filled with that faint electrical hum I'd first heard weeks ago. Only now it wasn't coming from the laptop. It was in the walls, the floor, the air itself. The chat flickered back to life. Don't answer the knock. It only needs you to look. Every seat is taken eventually. My phone buzzed on the desk. A new notification. Same as before. The stream that never ends is live. You're on. Except this time, the preview thumbnail wasn't the beige room. It was a live shot of my apartment door. The pale hand curled into a fist. And then, 3 slow knocks. Knock. 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 I froze. The knocks were soft, deliberate, like whoever or whatever was out there knew I was listening. On my laptop, the stream showed the same thing, my front door. Only there was a delay now. The knocks on the screen came half a second before they happened in real life, like the broadcast was predicting what I'd hear. I told myself not to move, not to breathe. Just wait it out. But then the chat lit up again. He has to open it. The seat isn't his until he does. Don't keep him waiting. I should have ignored it. I should have slammed the laptop shut, thrown it out the window, anything. Instead, I stood up. My body didn't feel like mine anymore, like I was following stage directions I couldn't remember agreeing to. Each step toward the door made the hum in the air louder, sharper, like a high-pitched ringing just beneath the threshold of hearing. My phone buzzed again. Another notification. Stream reconnecting. I stopped just short of the door. The peephole was right in front of my eye. My hand hovered over the lock. And against every instinct I had, I looked. For half a second, the hallway outside looked normal. And then the feed on my laptop shifted. The camera angle changed. Suddenly, I wasn't looking at the door anymore, I was looking through the peephole. The stream was showing me in real time, staring back at myself. Only the me on the stream wasn't standing still. It was smiling. Wide. Too wide. And then it whispered, through my own speakers, but also, impossibly, from the other side of the door. "Let me in." The door swung open. I braced myself for something, anything, to step through. But the hallway was empty. Silent. Only the stream told the truth. On the laptop, the camera angle showed him, my double, standing in the doorway, wearing my face, my clothes, my terrified expression, twisted into a grin. He stepped into the room, calm and deliberate, and moved behind my chair. I spun around. Nothing. Just shadows and silence. But on the screen, he was already there. His hand resting on my shoulder. His smile stretching wider than human skin should allow. The chat flooded, thousands of lines at once. Seat taken. Broadcast secured. Next viewer, prepare. The viewer count surged, 9,342, 18,117, 32,509. My screen flickered to black. For a heartbeat, I thought it was over. Then a new message appeared. Not in chat. Not from a username. Right in the middle of the screen. Stream reconnecting, the feed came back, not showing me anymore. Not the chair. Not the beige room. This time it showed you. Your hands on your phone. Your eyes on the screen. Your reflection glowing faintly in the dark glass as you read these words. And beneath the video feed, the viewer count ticked up again. 32,510. 32,511, 32,512. Welcome to the stream.